Okay, welcome, Jess.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Please tell people who you are and what you do.
My name is Jess. I am the vocalist for Vigil out of Richmond, Virginia. We're like a black thrash, dungeon thrash, whatever you want to call it, a heavier version of a regular thrash band. We've been a band for a little bit over a year now. Um, that's what I've got for band stuff. As for me as a person, I'm a gym rat, and I collect VHS tapes, which I have entirely too many, and they take up most of my home.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what's your favorite thing to do at the gym and tell us more about your VHS collection.
Favorite set at the gym is definitely back and shoulders. Anything but leg day really works for me. And then my VHS collection, most of it is music VHS tapes. I've got a lot of Ozzy and a lot of Kiss. Of course, I have a lot of Kiss. But I also have some other stuff. I've got like Backstreet Boys and Shania Twain, like
What?
Ricky Martin, tons of VHS tapes, like concert tapes.
Oh my God, that's so fun. That is so neat. I mean, like to watch a lot of concert footage like that must be really enriching for you for what you like
Yeah,
to do on stage too.
it is, especially being, a vocalist that doesn't play an instrument. I'm always like, what do I do with my hands a lot of the time? So watching those is really interesting and getting to see, over decades, what people did with their hands when they weren't holding an instrument and getting kind of a feel for what, I could do is been really interesting.
That is interesting. Did you pick up like a go-to move from like Prince or like what?
Not yet, but I'm happy to work on it. I should definitely watch more Prince. I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff going on when he's not playing the guitar.
When I am dancing, I am thinking of the backup dancers for Tina Turner. The
Oh
like
yeah,
the high knee thing that they do, stomping around and everything.
absolutely.
Legs. All right. So, when did you first realize that you loved rock and metal music and that you wanted to create more of it?
So I absolutely love this question. So my mom and I lived with my uncle for a little bit when I was a kid, and sometimes my mom would have to work real early, so he would have to take me to school. He was definitely the black sheep of the family, so he would be taking me to school in like first grade, second grade, and we would be pulling up blasting Motorhead and Priest and King Diamond and Slayer, what have you. The teachers would all look and be like, "Oh my God." So he's really been the person who got me into a lot of my music. He actually recently decided to give me what I consider to be the holy grail of family heirlooms. But he gave me his record and tape collection that he's had. He had some original Slayer stuff that my grandma got him in like the late 80s, early 90s, which is really cool. But then I say maybe early high school, when I really decided that I wanted to do music. I played drums for about 10 years, which never really went anywhere. But for Christmas one year, he got me the Jack Black video game called Brutal Legend. And the soundtrack for that game is immaculate. And so that, like, I listened to a lot of the basic stuff, like I said, Motorhead, Priest, things like that. But that game really branched me out into like
Mm.
further in the metal world, like Enslaved, Carcass, Metal Church, Carpathian Forest, like the heavier stuff that you definitely would never hear on a radio station in America. So that's when I really was like, I could do something like that. Like I could be interested in that. And so I've always wanted to do more music related stuff, but I've just never really had the opportunity. And so this actually, Vigil is actually my first band ever, which has been a treat and a struggle at the same time. Um, but we were my friend and I were at the bar one night, and he's like, I think my friends and I are going to start a thrash metal band. We've been having a bit of trouble finding a vocalist. Do you think you could do it? And I was like, yeah. And then 2 weeks later, I was practicing with him, and
Yay.
it happened to work out. So Yeah, that Brutal Legend video game, if you've never played it or listened to the soundtrack, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's actually a really good game.
Yeah, I bet it's on Spotify. Let's see.
Oh yeah, the Brutal Legend soundtrack is definitely on there. I listen to it a lot at the gym.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I haven't gone to the gym yet today, so there it is.
There it
Might
is.
be my soundtrack today. Uh, what a foray. We love a foray. The girl is having her debutante moment in heavy metal. That's what's up. Love it. Um, and that's such a great story. How old was your uncle? Was he like, I guess like
I think he was born in 75, so he was like early 30s when this was going on, I think, something like that. But like
okay.
hearing my grandma got him a Slayer record for Christmas one year is just crazy to me because I knew her and she bought me an Eminem record when I was like 6 or 7, and she had to take it back because it was the explicit version and she would not let me have it. So hearing that she got him a Slayer record is so funny to hear.
That is so funny. Okay, so he was like kind of like a young man doing this. Your kids
Yeah,
were probably like, what is this 30-year-old metalhead like doing, dropping this girl off?
right. In this
I
like
love it.
jacked up Toyota truck. I mean, it was, I'm sure it was a sight.
That is amazing. I only got like one ride to school ever. Anyway, but it was motorcycle at least, so
Oh,
uh,
that's cool.
kind of. Anyway, so okay, if your music were a movie soundtrack, what would the movie be about?
Okay. So definitely 80s fantasy, like same realm of like Conan the Barbarian, He-Man, Sword and the Sorcerer, things like that. But I would think more like Castlevania. If there was an 80s fantasy version of Castlevania, I think that would suit real well. So we've got like the candles and the sword and things like that. So it would have to be a little spookier than Conan.
Nice. I love it. Um, there's like this fan made music video from like playthrough footage from the Castlevania video game for a band called Skeletor. Somebody put a lot of work into it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
It's like the
that
only,
sounds interesting.
honestly, it's like if you wanted a Castlevania style music video for your band without like copyright infringement, it's just like a fan made this for us.
I didn't do it. Yeah.
No, yo, well. So if you could add any three vinyl records of all time to your collection, what would you pick?
So got three different types of things that I'm looking for. My one that I would like to have, regardless of format, I collect Bad Out of Hell by Meatloaf
Oh my God.
in all formats. I've probably got 15 to 20 copies of it, tape, vinyl, cassette, any of it. I love that album. It just happens to be everywhere that I go. So I pick it up every time. So if anybody sees one, bring it to me. I'd be happy to have it.
That is so amazing.
And then I really want Minas Margul by Summoning. Summoning is one of my favorite bands. I think that the synth black metal style is really interesting. That one's a lot of fun. I love that album. And it came out the year that I was born. So even more exciting. But my holy grail record of all time, if I could have one record in my collection, would be the French pressing of Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
Hmm,
I don't know if you know the bit behind that specific
tell me.
album. So it's the French pressing, and when they sent the notification over for like the colors of the album and the print work, it got mixed up, and the French pressing is actually green instead of blue. So and they're like $400 on eBay. So I don't have one, but I would love to have that or any copy of Ride the Lightning. Really, I just love that album a lot.
That is such a good answer to this question. Thank you for that. Like that was really thoughtful and I like all the variety in it. Oh my gosh. Thank you. So, if you could create a dream lineup for a festival, who would you put on the festival? Where would the festival be? And could you think of a name for the festival?
Okay. So I have a lot of different music that I enjoy. So we would have to throw a funk band on there, maybe Brothers Johnson, or uh, maybe Earth, Wind, and Fire. I could do maybe George Benson. And then I also really love K-pop. Um, so I
Okay.
would want to have. I haven't listened to it in a while, so I don't know a lot of the new bands. But I would love to have EXO or Twice, the girls group. I would love to have them on there. Um, as for newer stuff, I would love to have Death Hammer from Norway. Really love those guys. Cruel Force from Germany would be a lot of fun. Demolition Hammer is one of those bands that I've seen a couple times and I could see them a million more times. They're always so on point and they're a lot of fun to watch and people go nuts for them. I would like to have, what else would I want? Hmm, I think that would be, I'd want to have some EBM like Vosh or Boy Harsher, things like that.
Hmm.
So just really all over the place
Yeah.
fest. And I think that's what I would probably call it, would be all over the place fest. And where would it be? Where would it be?
All over the place.
Yeah, honestly, all over the place.
It's on tour. So, that is a really wide range of taste in music. That's really fun. It's always great to speak to someone that like can appreciate things that are not like just like in one kind of genre. Because
Can't do it.
I don't even understand how anybody can stay in one genre. Like I want to listen to, yeah,
Exactly.
different moods. Like, some things aren't appropriate for certain
Right.
situations. So,
There's nothing I've ever liked enough to just listen to that thing and be afraid to branch out and check out other stuff.
yeah. Yeah, and it's the same for like hearing new music. Like like if I'm like going for a long skate outside, I like want to listen to an album and it's exciting to listen to a brand new album. So,
Yeah.
I don't know why people don't want to listen to new stuff. So, what was a big decision you made that turned out to be a great choice?
Okay. So I think a big decision that I've been doing lately that I have never done before is being willing to give myself grace when I'm learning something new. Um, Most of my life, I've been a adamant quitter. If I'm not good at it, as soon as I try it, or if it takes too long, just gonna quit. And so with this band, I was really nervous that, I wasn't going to work out or the band wasn't going to work out and I was just going to quit. Luckily, nobody has yet. But when we first started, like I said, we met, my friend and I were at the bar. He's like, I think we're going to start a thrash band. We need a vocalist. And so I have a background of a lot of hardcore music. Richmond hardcore was a big part of my life when I was in high school. I listened to a lot of hardcore. I still do. And so when we went into it, we were thinking we were going to do more of like a hardcore thrash crossover kind of deal. And so I was trying to do more of a hardcore vocal instead of what I do now.
Hmm.
And we tried it for a little while and it wasn't really working out. And they were like, hey, we're gonna try some other people. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely. Like if it doesn't work out with them, hit me up. We can try something different, however you guys want to do it. So they went with somebody else for 6 months or so. And then they called me and they were like, hey, that's not working out either. Would you want to come back and try it again? We need something a little different, a little spookier, a little heavier. And
Hmm.
I was like, how long do I have to figure this out?
Mm-hmm.
They said, this was like Thursday, maybe, or Wednesday. And they were like, you want to come practice on Sunday? And I was like, oh. So they gave me maybe 4 days to figure out a whole new vocal style. And that was a time. But I'm so thankful that they gave me the opportunity to come back and try something else. Because it's been working out and I hope it continues to work out. And I haven't quit yet and I enjoy what I'm doing. So being able to learn new things and learn how to be on a stage and learn how to record and learn how to write lyrics. I've never done any of those things before. So it's been an interesting ride, but being nice to myself while I'm doing it has been a decision that has been really nice.
That is very inspirational. I think, I mean, it's so normal for bands to like take hiatuses. It's so normal for like people to like have side projects. It's normal for band members to change because there's life, right? And
Right.
like um it's great to hear that like you're receptive to that and gentle with yourself like as you ride the waves of life. So
Exactly. I'm trying to.
yeah, good inspo. Okay. What's your favorite gear and stage wear?
Right. So as far as gear goes, I don't really have a lot. A microphone and a cord. Sometimes I use a distortion pedal if I'm feeling crazy. But my microphone is the most important. I have a microphone that's very personal to me. It's very dented, dinged up, covered in lipstick, so you know it's mine. But it's got the perfect little thumb dent at the top. So it just feels right. And when I don't have it, it feels wrong. So
Mm,
that's very important to me. um, I recently got my first chainmail top, and
mhm.
that's been a lot of fun. I want every excuse to wear it all the time. Now that I have one, I'm like, I want more. Like, let me get more styles. I need all of them.
Mhm.
So the chainmail has been a fun addition to the stage. I've been enjoying it, even though it's really cold to put on when you've been inside all day.
Mm. But I'm sure you
So
like
yeah,
that's
I
the
think that would
warm
be
up.
that would be my favorite stage wear for sure.
Oh yeah, I gotta imagine that the chainmail warms up pretty quickly and that then like once you're kind of hot, I mean it's got like a lot of breathing space.
It does, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
breezy. It's breezy.
Where did you find it? Did you have it custom made?
I did not. I found a couple of sellers on Etsy. I wanted to get it made locally, but I couldn't find anybody in Richmond that was making like that. There's a lot of chainmail jewelers, but nobody had the time or the means to make me a whole top. So I had to go online, which was fine. Took about 2 months for it to get here, but
Mhm.
man, the second I put it on, I was like, I don't want to take it off. I want
Oh
to wear this all the time.
yeah. Yes, yes, we love. And it looks
And then
really good.
the last show we played up in DC, and I wore it on stage. And then the next day we actually went to a Renaissance fair in Virginia. So I wore it again. I was like, twice in one weekend. Let's do this all the time.
That is so great. Well, yeah, it's kind of like wearing chainmail to a show. Is it like wearing white to a wedding? Like, can you wear your chainmail all the time or not? That's the question.
Can I wear it all the time? No. Will I wear it all the time is a different question. Can't
Uh,
say that I won't.
nice. And what is a performance memory that you'll never forget?
Uh, okay, so I've got two that are interesting. We'll do the bad one first. So we were doing our first run of shows outside of Richmond. We played Raleigh, Charlotte, and Lynchburg, Roanoke in Virginia. And then we were like most of the way through our set, and all of a sudden, everything just stops. And we all turn around and we're looking at each other and we're like, what happened? What happened? Just silence. And I was like, what do we do? How do we fix this? How do we get back? And eventually we figured it out. But it's one of my favorites because it hadn't happened to us before. And I'm sure it'll happen again. But it was a nice learning experience for us to go through that, and learn about each other and learn, just keep going. Just keep make it happen. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
chaos
That's
man.
a favorite one of
What
mine.
happened though? Like what stopped?
I'm not sure. I think someone moved to the next part a little bit too early in the song,
Oh,
which
okay. Yeah.
happens. But
I
I
thought it
mean,
was
it
like
was just like we were all kind of just like, what do we do? there's no one to tell you what to do when that happens. So we're just kind of like, we made it work. We made it happen. It was fine. It was a great show. It was just funny how we were all just kind of like standing there. My other favorite is actually the first show on that run. We played Raleigh with our friends in Deceptor. And then it was the first show we had ever played outside of Richmond, where we're all from, or where we're all living at this time. And it was the biggest venue we'd ever played. And I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my gosh, are people here? I don't know. And so my friends in Deceptor asked me, they were like, Jess, we're going to do a cover. Will you come on stage and sing it for us? And I was like, absolutely. What are we doing? They're like, we're going to do Black Magic by Slayer. And I was like, oh, absolutely. I'm so in. Let's do it. And so I think that was one of the most fun moments I've had on stage, doing a cover, like a full cover with those guys who are my friends. I love them very dearly. But I think that I don't want to say it saved our show, but it definitely helped us out a lot, because I think that when you go play in a new location, you've never played there before, people don't necessarily know who you are, who your band is, what you sound like. They just see your name on a flyer and show up. I was worried that, because we were the headliner, I was worried that people were going to leave.
Oh.
And so I think that me going out there and giving them a little bit of a preview on what the rest of the show was going to be like, I think more people probably stayed. And I'm super grateful to my friends for letting me do that with them.
Oh, that's great. I love the double story. Fun bringing it
Yeah.
again at the end.
We
Um,
gotta have good and we gotta have bad. It's not all good.
that's life. It is a macabre comedy. So,
Yeah.
what is your favorite way to take care of yourself after a long, hard day on the road or in the studio, out there doing the thing?
So I love to take a nap. Anywhere you find me, I'm taking a nap. So I love a bubble bath. I love a bubble bath, but my current apartment, the water heater's too small and I run out of water before I even get like 2 inches of water. So I can't take baths here. I love a good candle. Candles are my favorite. I have like 1,000 in my living room. You'd be amazed. Just like sitting and reading and with my candles lit, and then going to sleep, taking a nice little 20-minute nap. Ooh, that's it. It's perfect.
That sounds so good. I feel like I'm gonna go take a nap after
I
that.
know. I'm about to do it. I got a candle lit over there. I'm ready.
Um, I love that. I don't think I have any candles. I have some incense. I feel like I'm an incense person in the summer because I don't want any
Yeah.
like additional heat. My apartment has like these insane skylights that,
Oh, I bet that gets hot.
yeah, like in the winter, they're kind of great because I put a fan in them. And so like all this warm air comes down. But in the summer, it's hell. So um, do you have any new announcements for us?
I do. So we just got some new merch out. We got a new design. We have our girl. We don't have a name for her yet, but she's our Eddie, our Murray, however you want to do it. She's our mascot. We got her with her dogs. So that's been really neat to get a new design on our shirts. We need to get more. We're almost sold out of them already. And then we are working on a full length right now. We should have that ready to go by the end of the year.
Nice. What kind of themes can we expect from your full length in like lyrics?
So a lot of our music is based around, fighting oppression, making your way in a world that's not necessarily built for you as a person, whether it's your gender or your race or your sexuality. A lot of the times, this world isn't built for most of the people that live in it. And so that's something that I really wanted to put on paper. Not just, I wanted to make it not necessarily just a female fronted band. We get a lot of people who are like, are your lyrics about being a woman? And I'm like, some of them are, but it also can apply to a lot of different situations and not just that.
Mhm.
And so that's something that I clearly feel very strongly about. So that's what a lot of the lyrics are about, just, making your way.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, women are people, so there's lyrics about
What? That's
people,
crazy, right?
right? I mean, lyrics about women are lyrics about people. So all different kinds of people. Um, yeah, so I mean, they could be like lyrics about, I don't know, being a musician in America. There's many ways.
Right. And I'm like, they're like, you write about women's stuff. And I'm like, I mean, yes, but women are also just people.
Yeah, we're only like half the planet, so you're writing about half the planet stuff too.
I'm like, you can still listen to it. I don't think anybody's gonna be mad.
So silly. Um, these questions. Um, so yeah, okay. And what about like musical themes, like style and stuff? Is there anything that you feel like we're gonna see a lot of in that album?
So again, we're trying to stick in that like in between, and it's such a weird intersection of genres that we do. So it's kind of thrash, it's kind of death metal, it's kind of hardcore, it's kind of, it's a bunch of different things that we kind of all throw together, and that's something that I love. That's been a really fun part of being the band, is having everybody kind of throw their own influence in. Um, but a lot of I think we're really trying to lean into this like dungeon thrash kind of deal,
Hmm.
and just have it be like a spooky version of thrash metal, but not quite black or death metal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of a band, right? Like if you take any of the parts and change them out, like you're gonna get a new set of influences and a new
Exactly.
perspective in history. Um, sorry, my parrot is he's just being a
There
real
he
nuisance
is. Yeah.
on my
He
lap.
came to party.
Beep, beep, boop. Hello. Hello. All right, I got it.
Yeah.
Back to work. Back to work. Okay. And um, how can we listen to your music and follow what you do?
Yeah, so we have our current music. We've got a demo out that's on Bandcamp, Spotify, Amazon, pretty much anywhere you get your tunes, it should be on there. If it's not, let me know. I will get it to you. And then as far as where you can see what we're doing, we are on Instagram. It's at Vigil Thrash. I think it's the Vigil Thrash on Bandcamp as well. That is the easiest way to get in contact with us, easiest way to find us, check out what we're doing.
Nice. Easy, easy. Do you guys have a band website by any chance or a web page for your band?
We don't. I think my bass player is working on that, but as of right now, we don't have one.
Okay. It'll be fun to see it because band websites, there's like no standard to it at all. There can be all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean some of it's just like getting information out there and other people get like really decorative. And I was just talking to uh Katarina from Escula Grind and we were like, what if we brought back MySpace because it's so easy to code and stuff and
I'm
like
into it. I'm into it. I wish
right.
they would bring it back. I miss it.
It's apparently it's still there and they actually what I hear is that they actually recognize that it was like great for musicians so they
Yeah.
like tried to move in that direction and I think it would be so fun to be like, oh, like, do you have a Facebook? No, here's our MySpace.
Here's our MySpace. Honestly, I love that. I'm gonna start handing out business cards with our MySpace on it.
Right? Like all everybody in metal just returned to MySpace now. It's just we're just gonna
I'm
take
into
it
it.
back. I mean, because Meta broke everything else, so let's just go back to MySpace.
Right.
Like TikTok's broken, everything's broken. All right. Now we're gonna play the vinyl game, and since you've seen this show before, you already know how to play. I'm gonna hold up two pieces of vinyl, and you pick one that you'd like to say something about or have a question about. Santa or Girls' School?
Girl school.
What do we
Girl
love about
school.
Girls' School?
I love Girl School. I actually saw them a couple of months ago at Hell's Heroes, which was a lot of fun. Well, I didn't technically see them. We got in a little bit late on the plane, and so I drove past and was trying to park, but I could hear them and they sounded great. Bummed that I didn't get to see them, but I still got to hear it, which was enough for me. But that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I made it at least to hear them from the parking lot.
You did get to hear them playing live.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
okay, so um, Tina Turner or Mean Mistreater?
Actually, I know you've posted about me, Mistreater, but I haven't listened to them. I definitely need to do so. So I got to go with my girl Tina. I know you love her. I also love her. I think about her hair, that specific hair, a lot. And I
Did you
kind of want
know
to get a wig like that.
she made all her own wigs? That's
Did
why,
she? That's amazing.
yeah, that's why nobody ever had hair like Tina Turner and like why
Right.
it's so like distinctively Tina. Um, and like so
I
like
love that.
you actually like can't get a wig like that. But you know what's so funny?
Mm,
I'm actually going to a wig store after this because I need a wig for the next music video.
yeah.
If I see anything that looks like a Tina Turner wig, I will let you know.
Oh
And
yeah. Let me know.
I'll send you pictures and you can let me know. All right, Kate
Need to
Bush,
know.
Grace Slick.
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna definitely go with Kate Bush, mostly because I love that album cover a lot. Also because she is an insane person, and I love that about her. She just does her own thing. I mean, not saying that Grace Slick didn't do her own thing, but Kate Bush was truly ahead of her time.
Yeah, they're both insane for sure. We love them for it. Um, and I think, you know, Kate Bush was probably the first person to do guttural vocals on record. The song Get Out of My House. Uh,
Uh-huh.
that was the beginning. Nobody did it like that before her. So,
I love it.
um,
Yeah, I love her. She's a real treat to the world for sure.
so let's see about some raspy stuff. Bonnie Tyler or Janis Joplin?
That's a tough one. I do love both of them very much. But I think Janice.
Nice. Okay.
Janice.
What
I
makes
love Janice. I was really big. I was really big into the hippie tunes when I was in high school. I had a little Volkswagen. Loved Zeppelin, The Doors, Janice, all that. So that Janice Joplin means the world to me, especially with the. She really had her own style of vocals that no one can really do, and it's just such an interesting thing.
no one before, during, since
Nope.
nobody does good Janis Joplin karaoke.
They
And
try. They sure do
do
try.
they? Who's even trying? I'm sorry they embarrassed themselves. It's
I
not
know.
possible. It's not possible. But yeah, all the boys on the back, Janice on the front.
As it should
Um,
be.
you sound like Gladys Knight. So then Betty Davis or Jinx Dawson's Coven.
Mm, that's a good one.
I realized
Hmm.
that they have something in common. They
Do
were
they?
models in Vogue.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
that's
never
interesting.
just realized it right now. Jinx
I
was in
love it.
in Vogue, and Betty Davis was in like multiple Vogue issues.
That's so interesting. I love that. I still gotta
Yeah.
pick one. I'm gonna go with Coven.
Okay, models and musicians. I mean, that's like, I mean, it's funny, like, you know, musicians and models often date, but what if you just are a model and a musician yourself?
I love it. I love it
You're
for
Jinx
them.
Dawson or you're Betty Davis. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what do we love about Jinx?
Um, I learned in one of your other videos that Jinx used to hang out with my boy RJD, and taught him the rocker move because he couldn't because he played bass in Elf.
Yes, that's
See, I was listening.
Yay! If I could transform into a Muppet right now, that's what I would be. That is great. That is, let's see, the sermon, right? Of overall is like there would be no Black Sabbath without Coven. Jinx was touring in '67 and she was putting up the horns at her shows. She did the Satanic Rock. Ozzy Osbourne wouldn't even have a name without her because he copied her bassist name, Oz Osbourne. And so anyway,
Yeah,
like need to recognize as the human race that Jinx did it first. Um,
100%. As much as I clearly Ozzy and Dio right here.
Yeah, we love them too. It's just not right that like, women get erased from rock history so much
100%.
that
100%. Yeah, I never would have known that until I watched your interview and you said that. And I was like, wow, that's as soon as you said bass player and elf, I was like, it's that's Ryan James.
yeah,
So
and
that's super interesting. I thought that was really cool.
the thing is it's like, her album was taken out of circulation because the Manson murders in LA made people have satanic
Right.
panic, and she was making satanic rock, and she was the first and the only doing it at the time.
Right.
So, um, but when Ozzy, also had to face like court charges of corrupting the youth for having satanic rock music, making satanic rock music, his court case was televised. It was a big media circus, and his
Right.
albums did not get taken out of rotation. He more or less like won. And it's like, I just feel like it's really important to try to like unveil this thing that got veiled, right? Like a veil, of course, right? They put a veil on it.
Right.
So anyway, LA Witcher hoaxed.
Hmm. I have not really heard of either of those bands. I cannot lie to you.
Well, that's a great day for new music.
Yeah,
So,
tell
Hoax
me something.
Hoaxed comes out of Portland. It is a three-piece band. This is the best drum productions of 2022. Yes, 2022. Best
Okay.
drum productions. This album, I mean, I'm just saying it another way here. Nobody's drums sound better recorded than Hoax
Okay.
do on this album. So they set the bar. Um, and um, yeah, and the bassist, Pearlzor, she's in one of the early episodes. I think maybe episode 4.
Okay.
And she's like super amazing. And she has this other band called Soul Grinder that is like a real genre blend. And her stage persona is like if King Diamond fell into a vat of like radioactive acid and came out a woman.
That's what I like to hear. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and she's so good live. She's just awesome. So this band is really cool, and they're doing great, and so I'm super happy for them. And then
Interesting.
and these bands should be playing shows together. So LA Witch has some of the same kind of doomy elements as Hoaxed, the
Okay.
same style of vocals, I would say. Um, but LA Witch has a little bit of what I think could be called like an art rock influence. There's like some interesting spoken intros that are like a little shocking. Um, and they're also a three-piece. So, and they,
Interesting.
yeah, so West Coast three-piece kind of doomy contemporary bands.
I'll have to check him out. Thank you.
Yeah, they're good chill music. They're definitely, you could like read a book with a candle or have a bubble bath and listen to like Hoaxed and LA Witch, I think.
I need more of that. So yeah, that's good. I'll have to check it out for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, let me know if you play any shows in Philly or New York. I mean, honestly, you're not really that far away. So if you even like DC is pretty close.
Yeah,
Um,
we've got one at the end of the month, the 622 in DC. We're opening our friends in Nuclear Tomb, their album release show. So we're playing that one. Hopefully we'll do once it starts to get a little cooler out, we'll head up north and I will definitely let you know.
yeah, it's getting hot now. Here we go.
Yeah, it's swampy down here. It just stopped raining and now the sun is beaming. I know it's gonna be gross outside.
I know. I was like trying to enjoy going outside a little bit, and it was not enjoyable.
Not today.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.